It would be nice, but who am I to tell you what to do?
Okay, I might have to. Let me see if I can adjust my settings here. See if it works better.
I didn't even know the sun came out in Canada. Look at that.
It doesn't. It doesn't. This is fucking weird, man. It's
Look
fucking
at
weird.
that.
Yeah. Okay. How's
Dude,
that?
it's awesome. I love this. I just have to start like this because I just came across this. I love this guy's voice. Listen to this.
Devon Larratt just broke his all-time pronation lift record, managing 160 pounds.
Oh, that's the performance eating pancakes guy.
You know the guy?
Well, I don't know him, but like, yeah, I know exactly who he is. Yeah, he's great.
Yeah, it's so yummy. What a great way to start a video.
You know
Devon
what?
Larratt just broke his all-time pronation lift record, managing 160 pounds for a single.
God, I love it.
He reminds me a little bit of Penguins. You know, Charlie, the guy down in Florida, he does reviews all day just for arm wrestling.
Oh, okay. I don't know that guy.
Yeah.
Hey,
how you doing, man?
Dude, I'm awesome. I'm so awesome. Hold on. Before we get into salutations, now that I saw this, what are you laughing at here?
Devon Larratt just broke his all-time pronation
it's
lift.
my buddy. That's my buddy, and I fucking got you easy. Yeah, that's Marcus Limburger from Austria. I'm doing a show in Germany there, and we kind of like, how did it even go? So it's his kind of event, I think. Yeah, it was his event, and we had a super match, but it was pretty clear that I was going to beat him, but we kind of did it anyways. We were kind of having fun with it, so I was kind of just.
And he's just absurdly running away, and you're like,
Yeah.
You know what, Devon? The way you're posing right now, I like it. It would be like if I had a porn star on and she had her shirt unzipped, showing like her ass.
Right?
I like it.
Hey, Devon.
Your podcast.
How you doing, buddy? How you doing?
I know you don't really like me. You just like me for my body parts. I know. I know you just
Right?
have me here for my piece.
Got to give people what they want, man. You got to give them what they want. Yeah.
Hey, I had this guy on here, Devon. He's the super heavyweight slap fight champion. He's called the Crazy Hawaiian. And
Yeah.
in that power slap.
That's so crazy.
I know
that's so crazy. I haven't watched it. Now I'm gonna have to watch that because I'm so curious. Like, that's the craziest sport to me.
Well, let's go. We'll get back to that in 1 second. Let me just ask you this. The weight class for that is 265 and up for super heavyweight.
Holy shit.
So he was 420 and he's talking about dropping down to 265 to get the heavyweight title.
Oh my God.
And he said one time he lost 130 pounds. Did you ever hit 300?
It was so close, man. It was so close. I was like right around 300 for when I pulled Michael Todd. I was like, that was like, what was that, 2021? Is that when that was? I think it was like, yeah.
And you didn't get that big to pull 11?
Oh, buddy, I couldn't. I would have loved to. There was like a perfect storm that kind of catapulted me to that weight. There was a lot of factors at play there. Believe me, I've been on a mission to get as big and as strong as I can, basically for my entire life. Mm-hmm. Other than a few periods where I've been cutting to make weight categories, but like water cuts, like the rest of my life, I've always just been trying to get as big and strong. And I'm not someone who has the genetics that can really be like a 300-pound dude. I'm really not supposed to be. Like, I'm supposed, like, me at like 245, 250, that's perfect. That's where I'm supposed to be.
And then now I saw, and now are you doing some things to drastically cut weight? Like, have you been just playing around with fasting, or what are you doing?
Yeah.
I saw a post where you were 229. I was like, wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's right. So after this last big match with Levon, I was like, God damn, I'm like, I need a serious break, like a serious reset. So one of the things that I did was I fasted. Yeah. And Jody does like mega fasts. Okay. Jody I've been watching her fast for like 10 years, and it's become quite interesting to me. Like, I'm talking to anybody who is like an expert in the field about fat, because I'm amazed at what she's done. Like, I see, and it's not just, oh, she's lost weight, she's lost body fat. Like, there's so much stuff that goes on, like, especially in like energy. Like, she gets healthier, she has more energy. It's really weird. So I did a 5-day fast, and yeah, they're great. Fasts are great, and they're not anywhere near as hard as people think they are.
So is this at the end of a 5-day water fast?
Yeah, that's at the end of a 5-day water. No. Yeah, so just water. Like, yeah, I'm drinking water still.
Exactly. So just water.
Yeah, water and a lot of salt. I put lemon in my salt, and there's like a few odds and ends, like minerals like potassium and magnesium. I was like, yeah, but basically, yeah, I'm just drinking water.
Yeah. Okay. So you do know what you're doing. Potassium,
I
magnesium.
don't know what I'm doing. I just listen to Jody.
Right. Those things are important. The potassium, magnesium.
Yeah.
They're crazy important, especially as you start getting to like 5 days.
Right. Yeah. I ate so much salt, tons of salt. And now, like, I realize, yeah, salt's really, really good stuff. But yeah, I would fast again. I would. I think it's more than just the caloric weight loss. I mean, it's more than just the calories on there and the autography. There's something more. I think it's just natural. I think that it's just your body's designed to do it. You're supposed to do it every once in a while. Feast and famine. I think it's natural.
Do you know about autophagy? Have you heard that word, autophagy?
Yeah. I do know about it. And the reason why I'm not like just waving the flag super, super hard on fasting, because that is how I feel. I do feel like fasting's really incredible. But I had a little discussion with Lane Norton. You know Lane?
Yeah, I know of him. He's very opinionated, strong-minded, well-researched guy.
Yeah. I'm a huge fan of his. And he kind of, dampered my excitement about fasting a little bit. But I still think that there's something there that maybe. So most of his research was in intermittent fasting or shorter fasting. And he said that there weren't a lot of studies done on like longer fasts. And by longer fast, I mean, we're even talking about like 3 days, 4 days. Like, and I don't think that there's any real mainstream. I don't know that there is. There probably is. I'm not aware. Okay. I am not a fasting expert, but I do feel strongly that there's something really wild going on there.
I had some skin tags on my neck, like really little ones that people would never even notice. And I did 2 5-day fasts and they vanished.
Yeah.
I did a 5-day fast with just water. And then a month later, I did a 5-day fast with just water. I even cut out coffee. Usually when I fast, I drink black coffee. I'll do 36 hours. I did 36 hours once a week for 3 years. So stop eating Saturday night and then not start until Monday morning.
Okay. So you're a big believer in fasting.
I don't know. I just I think it's more like you. I think that I intellectualize it and I think, wow, I did that for 3 years. That means like minimum 150 days. I gave my digestive tract for 150 days. My digestive tract just got a complete rest.
Right.
And I just think like, wow, what and I heard that like that's the no matter how hard you work out, the largest consumer of calories in your body is the processing of calories, I heard.
Right.
And so shit, how fascinating is that if 50 days a year you're not using those you're not putting that demand on your body.
Right. Yeah, no, it's interesting stuff for sure. Yeah.
Augustus Link, Sevon's a big believer in whatever Greg tells him. I'm such a great audience here.
That is good.
So gentle. So you dropped down to 229, and what did you feel just amazing? Like, did you get mobility, weird things back?
Yeah, well, I mean, a big part of it was my sleep, my energy level throughout the day. Like, even while I'm not eating, I've got more energy. I don't understand how that really works. Like, Like I get more energy as the fast goes on. Like I'm not eating, I have more energy. It's but yeah, like definitely the main thing was okay, I'm supposed to be lighter. Everything works better. Everything works better.
You can't compete though while you're fasting.
Compete while
Like,
fasting?
or even train. Could you train?
I trained every day. Yeah.
No shit.
And I know that a lot of people will say you're not supposed to. And like the workouts that I was doing for myself, they weren't crazy. I was just doing my arm wrestling stuff, nothing crazy.
Yeah.
But then I went and I did a leg workout with my daughter, and that was crippling. Crippling. But yeah, I continued to train. Yeah. I felt like I wanted to, so I did, but yeah.
I've had the quarterback for the Chicago Bears on here a handful of Travis's son, our mutual friend. You know the kid.
Of course, Tyson.
And crazy, right? What
a killer.
Absolutely amazing. Are you following his story now? Did you get into football now because of him?
It's so funny, Savannah. Actually, I so embarrassingly was talking to him the other day, and I was like, everybody in arm wrestling is a fan of the Chicago Cubs. Such an idiot. Such an idiot.
I love it.
I'm such an idiot. But yeah, I follow Tyson. I follow his Instagram. I'm a big fan. And yeah, you know what? I remember I was at Travis's place when he was just a tiny little kid.
Yeah.
And I remember Travis fucking throwing passes to this kid in the house, like, and just hustling him and working. And I was like, man, even at 6, I was like, this kid is something special.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Really, really. So, not really surprised that he's in the NFL right now. Not surprised. And I just hope he kills it. Yeah. I hope he goes on to just win every single thing. Yeah.
He told me that in his senior year in college, which he had an amazing senior year, like probably one of the best senior years any quarterback in college football history's had. He didn't eat on Fridays, and then he played Saturday morning fasted. And
Yeah.
I go, what kind of fucking stupid idea is that? He's like, I learned it from watching your podcast.
That's funny.
And I'm like, dude, I'm like, you're too young. You're not supposed to do that. Fasting's an old man's game. And he's like, no, it was great. And I go, did you tell your coaches? He's like, fuck no. They'd have never fucking tolerated that.
Yeah. And you know, I hear about guys doing it in arm wrestling too. I do. Like I hear about guys competing in a fasted state. I have never done it myself. But I do hear about it.
And Shevchenko, you know, the female MMA fighter who's like considered like the greatest, you know, maybe the greatest combat fighter in the sport. People don't say her name a lot, but when it comes up, and you know, she still fights in the UFC. I think she's still champion. Or maybe she's not the champion now, but she has another title fight coming up. She said she does her first workout every single morning on an empty stomach. Yeah, fasted. Yeah,
I'm about 50% there.
And she says she doesn't drink water when she trains either, which is nuts.
Well, you know, I mean, adaptation is pretty wild. And, you know, there's one thing that you can't argue with, and, you know, that's victory. You know, if somebody's winning,
right.
You got to listen.
I feel like there's this tipping point where for you, that all of a sudden you were just everywhere. You went it went from just like, those of us who knew who you were like, fuck, I'm so glad that I know about arm wrestling and I know about Devon's journey, to like, oh shit, it's everywhere. And for me, the point where I was like, wow, I mean, obviously I saw your YouTube just fucking explode, which was kind of cool. You kind of have this Sam Sulik kind of philosophy. Less is more, right? It's just you just like laying in bed or laying on on chairs at the airport, just shooting the shit on your YouTube. And then also this moment, this is when I was like, and then we saw your Instagram explode. But when I saw this, for some reason, this was the moment that I was like, holy shit, he really is everywhere. And that you were kind of being embraced by
ADCC.
Yeah. This one I was like, okay, they're letting Devon on the to ADCC. This is
Isn't that great? They're so cool. I love those guys. I love the jiu-jitsu guys. Yeah, Mo Jassim, what a fucking great human being. And to
and
fight with Juji,
that's
that
him
was
there,
fun.
right? That's the top dog in the
That's
whole
top
jiu-jitsu
dog.
scene, right? Yeah.
That's top dog. Yeah.
That's the Dana
Yeah.
White of jiu-jitsu.
What a great guy. What a generous human being is that. That guy, every single person that I talk to just loves that guy. They all have like a personal story about how that guy has saved them. Like, and myself included. He was so good to us. He found out about my son Auden being involved in jiu-jitsu. And yeah, just what a great guy. He gave Auden like a lifetime memory, got him in to train with some of the best jiu-jitsu guys. We got to watch the whole weekend. We had an amazing weekend. We watched all of ADCC right up close. I gained a completely different perspective of what I thought jiu-jitsu was. Like, completely changed my mind because I have a judo background, right? And I thought, oh, judo, jiu-jitsu, kind of same thing. It's not. It's not at all the same thing. That is violent activity, man. Jiu-jitsu is, I used to think that, oh, it's grappling, it's softer, dude, they are fucking killing each other out there.
What
That
did
is,
anything in specific you see? Are you talking about like the forearms grinding on the faces and the choking, or
I'm
what did
talking
you
about guys fucking snapping their legs every second match.
Right.
Like,
The leg
they
lock
don't
stuff, the leg
go
lock
out there.
stuff.
And like, I feel like at that level, they are going out there to kill each other.
Mhm.
Like there is no, oh, I think I got the hold. You should probably tap, buddy. It's like they're going out there to break your fucking leg, and you better tap in time because, like, they're not pausing at the break point. It's
Right.
like they are fucking snapping that shit, and you should have tapped. You should have tapped the second that you got in trouble.
Right.
Like the second that things started to go bad, you should have been tapping because. And jiu-jitsu, man, that is me. That is a fucking gnarly fight game. Like, I feel like in a one-on-one capacity, one-on-one, you do not want to fuck with the jiu-jitsu guy.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, twice now in the last year, I've seen a guy get his a joint hyperextended in
Yeah.
UFC and not tap.
I know, it's crazy.
Absolutely bizarre. Yeah.
Like, come on, man. Like, come on. I know. I see it too. I'm like, these fucking guys, like they're going like it's. I get it. Like, I'm willing to break my arm wrestling.
Yeah.
Luckily I haven't, but they're the same way, right? You're going out there and with your shielder on it, man. They're not tapping. They're not fucking tapping.
Kevin Holland, Kevin Holland broke a guy's arm a couple weeks ago in a UFC match, and the guy didn't tap, but the ref stopped it.
Yeah. And what did he say afterwards?
It was considered a controversial stop, but like as a fan of the sport, I was like, I was done. There becomes a point in fighting when you're just like, some fights I've questioned every year. There's one or two fights where I'm like, hey, maybe I shouldn't be watching this. Like it just went a little too barbaric for me. I'm like,
I just watched one this morning. The guy had the guy in some kind of a key lock with his legs around the guy's neck, but he was somehow on like the back side of him. And at the same time, he had an armbar on the guy. The guy was passed out, unconscious, and he totally was sitting there like with a completely hyperextended, like broke back elbow. And the ref didn't stop it for like a few seconds. Then the guy is waking up to like being passed out and like completely fucked arm. Like, yeah, the fight game is a wild game. Yeah.
It's trippy taking your kids to those events too. I mean, kids matches, they stop them very, very quickly, but definitely the older guys, they are it seems like they're going to like you said, break the bones. But I did also hear something really interesting the other day. A couple days ago, there's this fight league called WNO, Who's Number One. And Gordon Ryan fought for the championship a couple days ago, and he said he had the dude in the arm bar, and I think it was the arm bar, And then afterwards they're like, "Hey, Gordon, how was the match?" And he goes, "It was good. I didn't want to break his arm, so I just held it there and looked at him." And I was like,
That's
"Wow,
nice.
yeah, that is pretty nice, right?"
That's nice. Yeah.
That's pretty nice.
That is nice. That is nice. I mean, at that level, I mean, guys know what they're getting into. Like, you fighting for world championships. That's nice. That is nice.
So is this a tipping point? Like, is there a moment where you were like one day, do you know the moment that it was like, oops, I crested over the top. Like I'm like starting to be like non-arm wrestlers for some reason or another have taken interest in me.
There were a few moments. There were a few that kind of pushed it. The fight with sorry, not the fight, the arm wrestling match way long ago with Thor. That was
Oh,
that started a lot of things. Like a lot of the larger strength community at that time noticed me. You know, strength community. Yeah. Yeah. Like, this match went everywhere. Like, it was on Playboy, like it was reviewed all over the place. Like, this was an important moment.
and at this point, he's the strongest man in the world.
I think so. Or he's like, you know, still widely recognized, you know.
And he was in Game of Thrones too, right? He was huge.
Yeah. 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 So this was a big deal. The you know, Aussie Man Reviews did this thing where he reviewed me pulling push car, and that thing blew up. Like, went everywhere. You know, WAL, that was good times. And actually, you know, the crazy thing is so WAL gave all of arm wrestling and me a lot of boost. But what happened when the WAL kind of failed, my mindset kind of shifted, and I just started doing like more on my YouTube, and I feel like all those pieces really propelled that. And you know, I've met a lot of people. I've met a lot of people from the fitness community over the years, and the thing with Braun Strowman, I don't know if you saw that little match I had with Braun Strowman at the Olympia.
Was he the world strongman?
No, he's a
Sorry, was he
WWE.
oh, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, he's a WWE wrestler. Great big guy, Braun Strowman. Yeah, and that little match sequence, like, I'm telling you, like, if you add up everything, that thing probably has 1 billion views. Like, if you go over all the platforms, all the edits, like, it's probably like got 1 billion views.
Oh, I saw this. Is this the guy that pushes you?
Yeah, man. Right. Yeah.
And did you know that was going to happen? Did you know he was going to push you?
No, man, this is all completely fucking just got wild. It was awesome. It was totally great.
You were into it. You knew you were fine with it.
Of course I'm fine with it. He's a cool guy. It's Braun Strowman, man. He's great. We were having fun. But yeah, he's a monster. And this thing, I mean, this went everywhere, like everywhere. Yeah, and I mean, it's been moments like these, you know, that have and I mean, now with East versus West being so, you know, professional, like, East versus West has really stepped up. So it's like, you know, it's basically
he's really going here?
oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And he's good. He knows what he's doing.
He is if there was ever a natural, he's a freaking natural. Yeah. Big hands, strong, functional. There's not a lot of show muscle in Braun Strowman. He's real. He is a real dude. Like, yeah, very, very gifted athlete.
Are you tripping here that a non-arm wrestler has you in this position?
Well, listen. I'm a very generous guy. Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm impressed. I am. I'm very impressed by him. He could be, no question in my mind, if he's like, screw the WWE, I'm going to become a pro arm wrestler. That's a good athlete. That's a very, very good athlete.
Hey, they gave you the intentional slip there?
Yeah, they gave me a loss there. Yeah.
No shit.
Yeah, yes, that's Scott Wynn. I mean, he's making it an interesting, right? Right. You know,
And then you know this second match, you know not to let him get to that spot again.
Yeah. It's felt good. Yeah. He's strong. He is a big, strong human being, you know, and I was like, okay, like, you know, you feel him out a little bit first round. He's got a strong hand, he's got a big frame. But I mean, he's not a pro arm wrestler, right? He's like, you know, there's pieces that he's just unaware of that are important, right? So I'm having fun with them, and then it gets crazy. We never actually finished the match. It was
No?
1-1. It's 1-1. Yeah.
Oh
We
shit.
said we'd finish it on the mat.
Oh shit. Wow.
Yeah. Because after that, it degenerated into absurdity.
Hey, would you ever do WWE? Have you ever gotten offers for that?
Actually, we were just the other day, we were talking about doing something in Montreal with like a wrestling promotion.
God,
Just for every day.
I could
Yeah.
so see you doing that.
Yeah, right. It'd be fun. Yeah. I love, you know, showmanship. I think it's a good time, and all that stuff is real anyways, right? So it actually counted as a fight, you know. So
Perfect. Jake Chapman, does Devon have an OnlyFans?
if you dig hard enough, you'll find it out there.
Yeah,
You'll
just
find it.
keep
Yeah.
looking.
Keep looking.
He has a nickname. It
Okay.
has long and thick in it.
It's terrible. It's terrible. Yeah, be careful out there, everybody. Internet is a dark and disgusting place.
When you go against Thor, it doesn't, and he's willing to put his strongman persona against someone who's in a specialized sport like you. Does it take anything away from him in your mind or in his mind?
No. To me, it just adds. Like, I think that, look, if there's a base intelligence out there that I think understands that, you know, you cannot jump into another field and expect victory. You can't do that. And I mean, the willingness to try and take part shows good character. You know, I believe, it's my belief. I've played with a lot of athletes. I've played with, you know, any number of fields. And it's my belief that there are some extraordinary pieces of clay that come from the strongman community. There is a lot of strength in that community. Like when I look at powerlifting, bodybuilding, strongman, arm wrestling, when you talk about just where is the clay to build a strength champion, there are a lot of strongmen out there that are just fantastic, and if they chose to, like, they can dominate, like, in a lot of fields. Like, a lot of these guys, like, their base strength is just, it's completely fucking insane, like completely insane.
So you're saying that if you want to be a power lifter, if you want to be an arm wrestler, if you want to go into others, these types of strength sports, and your best base would be strongman. Kind of like in CrossFit, like gymnastics is a great base, soccer is a great base. It's like a place where you can.
I think so. I mean, it's just, I'll tell you, when I meet, like, you know, you go to these conventions, you meet a lot of athletes, and the strongmen are super impressive, super across, as we speak in CrossFit, broad domains. Broad strength domains.
Yeah.
Like, super impressive. And, you know, I just worked with Brian Shaw a couple weeks ago. And I mean, that's a guy right there. I mean, you look at this guy and he's 41, and you think, okay, most 41s, guys who are world champions, who have accomplished what he's accomplished, you know, you kind of are like, maybe not a ton of potential, but this guy's still healthy. He's still healthy. He's still got juice in the tank. And that's the thing. Like, when I think arm wrestling's at a point now where we are now cool enough that guys like this are starting to think, oh, maybe I just put my foot in the water a little bit.
I love it how you say cool enough and then you're wearing the Keens. Do you know every time I wear those, someone has to make fun of me? I have those shoes, exact
Ah,
shoes right there. I have
yeah.
3 pairs of them. And do people make fun of you when you wear those?
People call me homeless. The guy barely wears shoes. Like I'm normally barefoot. So people people do make fun of my homeless attire quite a lot, but I'm comfortable with no shoes or sandals. Yeah, I hate laces and tying things up, and just a pain in the butt.
Yeah, I always get told those are my dad's shoes.
Yeah, they're pretty awesome. That's I'm not sponsored by them or anything, but they make a great shoe. They really do.
So I when you fought, you were saying that it was nice of Thor, it was cool of Thor to do that with you and put that on the line, but there's nothing to lose because anyone with a base intelligence knows he's dabbling
Yeah,
in another sport.
yeah, of course.
Did you feel that when obviously he was training for boxing and at the last minute, a couple people pulled out who were going to fight him, and so then they asked you, and you obviously hadn't been training fighting at all, for years since you probably got out of the military.
Yeah.
Did you feel an obligation, like, to give him, since he did that for you, to do it for him?
There was a tiny bit there. A tiny bit, yeah. Like I always remembered how he was so willing and so cool. Um, so yeah, there was some of that, but quite honestly, like I was just so into that fight, man, because I follow Strongman, I
Yeah.
follow Eddie Hall, I
Mhm.
follow Hafthor Bjornsson. I'm a fan of those guys, and I saw the heat, I saw the hype. I was like, man, I cannot wait till this fight happens. Like, I was more excited for that fight than I was for any like legit fight. And I mean, obviously it's a legit fight, but like I'm talking like any like world heavyweight title belt of this sport or that sport. Like I wanted to see Eddie and
Yeah.
Eddie and Thor fight.
Yeah.
And then when he broke his bicep, when he blew his bicep, because I'm friends with Core Sports, right? I'm friends with the owner. I call up the owner. I'm like, dude, what the fuck? I'm like, what the fuck are you gonna do? I'm like, listen. If you need a guy, I'm your guy. Like
Oh, you
half,
said that joke, like,
yeah,
wow.
yeah. I was half joking though. Listen, I would do it, but I was like half joking. I was like, listen, man, this has got to keep going. Like, if you need a guy, I'll fucking step in and fight him. And he calls me up like 3 weeks later on a Friday, and he's like, "Yo, Devon." He's like, when you said that, were you serious? And I'm like, "Oh shit." I'm like, "Fuck yes, I was." I'm like, "Fuck yes." He's like, "Okay." He's like, "Get ready." I'm like, "We got the list down like 3 or 4 people," but he's like, "But you're one of them, and I kind of want it to be you, so just get ready." And I'm like, "Oh shit." I'm like, I fucking tell Jody, and I'm like, and he calls me up on a Monday morning at like 5 a.m. and he's like, "You got to fight." And I'm like, "Holy shit." I'm like, "Okay." And like that night, I went to TriStar in Montreal. It's like,
Yeah.
Firas Zahabi.
Yep, premier
Yeah,
probably fighting location in maybe in the world, but for sure Canada.
right. So that's the rep, right? So I fucking picked up my stuff and I moved to Montreal for 4 weeks. And I lived at the gym. I lived in the dorms. It's such a cool setup here in Montreal. You're living in like, fighters' quarters, and your whole day is revolving around fight training. And Savon, I was getting pasted by every single guy in the gym. Like my fucking nose was so sore, like just to touch my nose, I was like, so I got beat up for like 4 weeks straight, which was great, and then I went and got my ass kicked. I fucking loved it. But like it would take a long time for me to get like to be a boxer. Like really. Like I've never boxed. I've never trained for boxing. I do have like a little bit of fight knowledge. Like I did a lot of mixed stuff. I have a judo background, but I never did striking stuff really. I did a little bit of Thai, but he's not to make excuses, but
No.
it was a fantastic. I loved the experience. They almost didn't let me fight. They almost didn't let me.
Why? How
But
come? Were you injured?
Oh God. Oh God. I'm so crippled. Seriously. Like, like the doctor was like looking me over and he's like, have you ever fought? Like, have you? And I'm like, well, I'm like, not probably the way that we're thinking about right now. And
Yeah,
he's like,
with guns you have. Yeah,
right.
yeah.
He's like, have you ever boxed? And I'm like, no. He's like, you don't have a professional fight? I'm like, no. He's like, have you ever amateur? I'm like, no. He's like, how long have you boxed for? I'm like, the last 4 weeks. And he's like, he's just looking at me like I'm completely retarded. And so he's checking my vitals and my blood pressure, and I'm a mess. I'm a mess. And he's like, okay. He's like, I think that they had to like bribe him or something. But yeah, it
And
was.
was this at the venue?
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
like just a day before the fight.
Yes.
Hey, when you are in a helicopter on a job
Mhm.
and the helicopter is approaching the job, was there any is there any similarity to stepping in the ring with Thor? Is there any
It's way lower.
with Thor?
Way lower.
Way lower.
Way lower. Look at, like, I'll tell you, it's awesome. It's awesome to do sports. Okay. It's awesome to do sports at a high level, but there's something about knowing that the people are legit trying to murder you
Yeah.
with no rules
Yeah.
that somehow gets you on edge a little bit, you know, just a little bit. Yeah.
I had a guy on, Jimmy Watson, who was a Marine, a SEAL, a Blackwater guy, and he got into an internet, scrap with Sean Strickland. They were going back.
Oh, I followed that. Yeah. Okay, and I think I follow him on Instagram, like, because there was something about your boys wouldn't last a fucking day working. Yeah, I follow that guy now. Yeah. I liked what he had to say.
I like what he had to say too. He was a cool dude, and he was chill. I felt like he was tempered in his response. He wasn't disparaging. He was just like dropping the facts. But
Exactly.
the one thing he said, remember, you guys go in there to kill each other, but you have a referee to make sure no one does die. And just remember, we don't have a referee. Like
Right.
it always goes to, there's a loser, and then he never fights again.
Right. Yeah, I mean, look, I have so much respect for the guys who are still doing the job, really. Like, to me, it's the ultimate form of being a warrior, okay? I love that. And I'll tell you, most of our best warriors aren't there because they're not compensated properly. You know, most of the guys who are really kick ass, they go into pro sports, they fucking make money in all sorts of ways. There are a lot of incredible human beings in that job, and to me, it's a tough job, man. It is a tough job. It's a very real job. The job of a dude who's fighting with the forces in one capacity or another.
Yeah.
It's very serious. It's very serious. And game time has a totally different meaning. The level of seriousness and professionalism that goes into being a soldier is super, super high. Like,
Hey,
I mean,
that's so interesting you say that, because a lot of people will criticize Dave Castro for not being professional. And when people do that, I realize that they have no idea what professional means, because they think professional means suit and tie, and professional means singularly focused at the task at hand. And that's what he brings that people don't recognize. And that, you know what I mean? He brings, you feel a little bit of that, like, you don't recognize the level of professionalism that these guys bring, and not just him, but a lot of guys who are in the special forces or who fought combat. They bring a level of professionalism that's not recognized, and so people claim it's not professional. It's like, no, dude, that's as professional as it gets, where every decision can be made in a split moment, and it's like life or death, right?
yeah,
Like the critical thinking and the assessment tools are like next level.
yeah. You're breaking up just a little bit, Savon, but I did
Sorry.
understand. I did understand everything. Yeah, it's crazy because most of the pay and incentives, you know, in the regular world are based off performance, and if you work more hours, and it's not exactly like that. You know, when you're on a team or whatever, you know, but guys give everything. They give every fucking thing, every waking moment to see the mission succeed. You know, you see it over and over, and you know who the guys are, and they'll never be repaid. They never will be.
Right.
But
Or
there's
even,
guys,
or even recognized.
no, or even recognized.
Right.
They won't. They will not be recognized. But there are nameless, faceless champions. I'm talking the best champions that I've met.
Yeah.
Nobody will know them. Nobody will know them. Like, I felt like I was like, you know, middle or like lower end of the teams. And there's guys out there, just incredible human beings who will never really get more than the military pension out of it. And that's it. That's it. And I know that, you know, having lived in like the regular world as well, I just know about their sacrifices, and I know that it's a crazy game, man. I tell you, it's a wild place. A lot of these guys, you know, they could go professional, like they could start. I say professional, I mean non-government. Like they could go mercenary side. They could make, you know, fucking 10, 20 times the money. You know, 30 times the money.
Right.
They don't. They don't. You know, because of some deep, deep belief that, you know, they're helping the species, they're helping their country, you know, they're making the world a better place, you know.
I had this guy on the show. Can you hear me? Is it better now?
Yeah, it's better.
I had this guy on the show, and he was like only one of 11 guys in the world who does this sport. He free climbs buildings.
Oh,
He's,
wow.
he's a European guy. Yeah, it's nuts. Skyscrapers,
Wow.
right?
Wow.
And I said to him, what do you think about when you're climbing? And he goes, hey, if you're ever thinking, you're dead.
Yeah.
And it took me a second to process what he meant. Like, and I go, what do you mean? He goes, if you catch yourself thinking, if you're like, I wonder what my girlfriend's doing, or I wonder what's for dinner, or I'm scared, or he said, soon as you get to a certain height off the ground, I forget how high it was, let's say 30 feet. He said the whole world completely goes away.
Wow.
And when you're in the ring with Thor, are you thinking at all?
No, I think
No.
that's what we're all looking for. I
Yeah.
think that exactly that feeling is what so many people are seeking. You know, that place of peace where you're just completely you're just alive and you're doing your thing, like
You're
whatever
just
that
present,
thing is.
100%.
Yeah. Oh, I get that a lot. Yeah. Yeah. I get that when I compete and just about everything. Yeah.
Even in arm wrestling.
Even in arm wrestling, yeah, I don't think about much when I'm arm wrestling. I really give myself permission just to totally just go free. Yeah. That's why sometimes I say all sorts of silly stuff, you know, it's because I let myself. I'm just like, I'm going to do whatever. I'm going to say whatever. And I'm just going to go out there and fight. That's it. I don't.
So you don't
worry.
even know what's coming out of your mouth. You're hearing it for the first time too.
Yeah. I try and just give myself permission just to completely take off the safeties and just, if I feel it, I'm not going to question it. I'm just going to go full attack mode. And yeah, I mean, not to compare what he's doing with arm wrestling, because I'm sure that I probably still have a sliver of thought in there while, you know, I'm not going to die. So yeah, I get it. The same way I say it's not comparable to, you know, going on missions. While free climbing the side of a building has got to be pretty far. That's got to be pretty freaking far. Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, can you teach that to someone? My son doesn't know what 100% is. He's great at everything he does because of just sheer discipline and practice.
Yeah.
And I'm not. And his tennis coach is like, man, like, I wish I could catch your son cheating just once. And I go, what do you mean? He's like, because then I would know he wants to win. I just can't see him. He never go. You know how gymnasts, they're so tempered in their movements and they always point their toe at the end and they don't. there's this in your sport, you probably flirt with disaster. You're always working that line. Is my shoulder going to give out? Is my elbow going? So when my son goes and fights in jiu-jitsu tournaments, which they all do regularly, one of my sons, I'm like, hey dude, I always tell him you use the word just now. Give yourself permission to let go. Give yourself permission. Why did you choose that word? And do you think you could teach that? Or no?
Well, it's a very important step, because most people have reservations about behaving a certain way. I remember distinctly there were many steps where I became more and more free as a fighter. Okay. And it started very young. Like, I remember going to judo when I was a kid. I was probably like 3 or 4. I'm sorry, not 3, grade 3 or grade 4. So maybe like 8 years old, something like that. And I remember watching the kids older than me fight. And I remember watching how hard they were fighting each other, like super, super hard.
Yeah.
And it shocked me a bit. It shocked me. And I think I asked my parents, I asked the teacher, well, like, what's up with that? Why are they fighting so hard? And they said, no, it's okay. It's okay. You're allowed to do that. You are allowed to fight like that. This is what is, it's not just what you can do, it's what you should do. Okay. You have to free yourself from thinking that you have to be nice to people or politeness. And it's like that in, I think, everything. You have to, because we are all, we have certain behaviors. We grow up in a family, we go to job, we go to school, we have friends, and there's things that you do and there's things that you don't do. But you're not, normally to be a real human is like a bit more like an animal. Like an animal, if it has an impulse to do something, it might just do it, you know? And we have so many systems built in to damper that, you know? And I think that so much of high performance stuff is letting go of that and finding ways that you remove those inhibitions.
Yeah.
Right. You have to free those inhibitions from you so that there's not even a second thought or a clearance or a safety. I did it very powerfully when I created kind of a false personality. Yeah. And this guy, like when I became
consciously.
Yeah.
Consciously created this person.
Yeah. Yeah. And when I flicked this switch, I was just fully allowed. It's not even that I was allowed. I cherished it. Cherished it. Like all the things that I wanted to do, all the ways that I needed to act. It rewarded me. I felt rewarded by doing it. So, but these are all just different strategies. You want to say hi to Savon, Joe?
Jody, what's up, girl?
I was talking about fasting earlier.
Oh, were you?
Yeah.
Hi.
I've just kind of rolled out of bed. I have
the perfect wife. There she is, ladies and gentlemen. That should be a whole podcast. The perfect wife.
Definitely. That's the gold standard for sure right here.
Yes. Hi.
It's great to see you.
You have your husband home.
I sure do.
Congratulations.
Yeah, it's been kind of nice. Thank you. Yeah,
Are you aging in reverse, Jody? Look at you. I cannot believe
No, don't look. I'm literally just rolled out of bed.
Dating your grandfather. You look like you're dating your grandfather. What happened?
I mean, grandfather was a great guy.
It's getting to be a problem. Like I go in a store and like she's getting ID'd and like they're looking at me funny. It's like, no. We went to school together. They're like, what the fuck did you do with your life?
He was my teacher.
Yeah.
Isn't your president like that too? Didn't your president end up marrying his teacher?
Our prime minister. Well, they're well divorced.
Very well played.
He's only one of 2 sitting prime ministers ever to get separated while sitting, and the first one was his father.
Oh, did he come out? Did he come out? Is that why?
No, he did not come out.
He needs
I mean, I don't know why they actually did it, but I think it was very well overdue.
Wow, I didn't even know that was his drama teacher though, right?
Now, he was the drama teacher.
It's a little bit more complicated than
He
that.
was a drama teacher. He
It's-
worked with vulnerable youths.
It's a little bit more complicated.
Wow.
I can speak poorly of our prime minister, but I probably shouldn't. But there's plenty of ammo on our prime minister out there.
Yeah, it's not hard to find.
Yeah.
Hey, our dude may be old and being taken advantage of, but your dude's legitimately crazy. Like your dude's
Legit.
legitimately crazy. He says some weird shit.
I will not defend him. I will not.
He's a really weird man. Not like in a good way. Not like you're weird, Devon. He's weird.
Buddy, listen. I only make the excuse that it seems to be a worldwide problem, not just
that's
little
fair.
old Canada. You know,
that's fair. That's fair.
Like politically, I feel like leadership across the world is suffering, and Canada is definitely right at the front.
Yeah. Hey, is he going to get voted out? What are the people there thinking?
Dude, I don't know. Like we're losing it here.
I have to run and help Mile, but I want to show you something first. Mile, actually, come back. Can I just take this and show you what's on our wall? Okay, so
was that
you
your
see
son, by
this?
the way? That's not what your son that was in the
Wait. See that right there? Do you recognize that?
Was I there that day that picture was taken?
You took that photo.
Oh shit. Oh
Now
shit.
come here.
That's awesome.
And that's who was in that.
Oh my god, look at Superman. That's Clark Kent. Look at him.
Yeah. And all of the photos on our wall, actually, they're all still your photos. Look at the bunch of those ones all across. Yeah, so do I.
Oh my
anyway,
goodness.
I just wanted to show you that.
Thank you.
You're with us every day, Savon.
Thank you. That's awesome. I love that.
Yeah, man. Look at.
I have to run and actually take care of that boy. So great to see you, Savon. Take it easy.
Hey,
yeah.
All kidding aside, man, you did good. Your wife's getting hotter. Congrats, dude. That's fun.
And that's another thing about this fasting thing that I tell you, man, like watching her fast.
Yeah.
Like it's healthy.
Yeah.
Like,
she looks incredible, dude.
She's killing it. And listen, she's been partying hard the last few days. So like that's just her. That's how she is all the time. Yeah.
Okay. Permission. The altar, you created a character.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wonder if I could convince my son to do that. I don't even. The thing is I'm pointing at something he doesn't even know what it is. Do you know what I mean? So I don't put any pressure on him for it. But if there was a way I could introduce to him, like on this show, the only way I get to do it is like I know I'll see like some chick with a good body, and I'll be like, damn, that's a great rack, and I'll be like, wow, I must be feeling free on the show, because you can't say that outside the show,
right?
But when he's fighting, I'm like. Like when he fights with his brother, he gives himself permission, right? They go at it.
So maybe do it like this. Maybe do like a creative game with him or something. Like, so maybe make him like, okay, so we're talking about fighting, right? We're talking about jiu-jitsu?
Jiu-jitsu, striking, or even tennis. His tennis is crazy high level, but he doesn't give himself permission. He's easier there to do it than in jiu-jitsu, but he just won't let the wheels fall off the bus. He won't flirt with disaster.
I understand. So how about you do like just a thought game with him, like a mental game where he was able to go outside of himself and potentially he could create like a hero or create an opponent. And who would that be? And what would they be like? And what would the most powerful person that he could imagine, what would they be like? What would they be like from, what would their personality be? What would they act like? What would make them feel certain ways? What would they be after? What would their goals be? Like, what would feed this hero? What would make him be so great? And when he could maybe identify what that person might look like, then just encourage him that it's okay for him to be that person.
Right.
And then he doesn't have to be that person all the time, but that he can foster this growth inside of him and let it be okay that this thing that he's creating comes out and then it goes back inside. And with that, it's a type of freedom that that if there's anything that he objects to, like whoever he is as a person, but if he can see that somehow this perfect fighter that he's creating might not be fully in line with what he is or who he is, but somehow he's able to accept that he can be like that,
Right.
if he needed to be, you know? Yeah.
Do you still use this persona, or do you not even need it anymore?
Oh, I haven't needed it in a long time. I mean, it still kind of just comes out every once in a while, but no, I mean, and listen, I've been doing it for so long. Like, I started doing this back, like, I really had it figured out by 2000, and I'll say like 7. Yeah. So it's been like almost 20 years I've been doing this.
When you went against John in Tacoma.
Oh yeah, I was already. Oh, in Tacoma.
In Tacoma, or I don't know if it was Tacoma. It was some small
Right.
town
Yeah,
in Washington.
I remember. Yeah, where you were filming.
And Marcy, there. Were you free there?
No.
No, you were not free yet. You hadn't. You hadn't tapped into just like fucking okay.
Not yet.
Yeah.
Not yet. No, but in 2008 when I pulled him, yes, absolutely.
It was like it's on. I'm.
Oh, listen, it's totally different. Like, I created this thing in my head that had a lust for victory and for fucking death, like a lust for it. Yeah.
How did you know to do that? Who told you to do that?
I had to do it. I had to. I didn't have a choice. For my survival and everything, I had to create something. And I don't think anybody told me, but I did a lot of work, right? So my first combat tour, not all tours are the same, right? So my first combat tour was in 2005, 5 to 6. Okay. And it was, like, I mean, there's all sorts of crazy tours that people do, but for me, this was, like, we had our fair share, and I was shot a bunch, and, there was all sorts of violent shit. And I came back from that, and the way I performed on that tour, in my opinion, subpar. And when I got back, I had what I would describe as all the standard PTSD symptoms, like the fucking waking up in the middle of the night, because, super stressful stuff. And I was like, it's like you go and do a 5-month fight camp and get the shit kicked out of you for 5 months. And then you're going to come back, you got all sorts of injuries. And so many injuries from, like, I'll just say war. Like, it's not just your body, it's your spirit, it's your mind. And what I did was I built a system and a framework inside my mind so that I could go back and I could do much better. So what I learned to do is because who I am as a human being, who I am as a person psychologically, it's not ideal for combat. It's not. Okay. To be much better in combat, you have to have different characteristics. And I recognize that. And so what I did is I purposefully kind of made it so that I accepted those feelings. I just was like, okay, I'm gonna accept all these pathways. Like, I'm gonna be like, when this happens, I'm gonna go towards it. Like, I don't know. It's hard to really wrap up very quickly, but you kind of embrace a kind of a darker being. Okay. And there is a lot of power in embracing what I'd say is the light and the dark side of everything. And okay, now you're like, Devon, did you become a schizophrenic?
No, I'm following you. All
right. You compartmentalize your psychological traits. Okay. You compartmentalize it so that you allow yourself basically to become something which probably isn't going to be acceptable in day-to-day life. But the thing is this is not day-to-day life. Okay. You need to have different characteristics to perform well. So that's what I did. Okay. And it was very beneficial. I stopped being fearful on hits. I completely stopped.
Wow.
Like like, I'd be fearful during the day and during the camp. Like, we'd be doing our planning. I'd be like, oh shit, man, this is going to get crazy tonight. But then I made it so that the second I put my foot on that helicopter or the Humvee or wherever we were going, I was like, I cannot wait to close the distance. I cannot wait, and I was just eager and motivated and, yeah, stuff that, any normal person would probably not be thinking, yeah. But it's vital. Like, if you want to perform in your field, like, look, I mean, whatever your field is, there's going to be a different set of characteristics that are preferred. If you're going to be a librarian, I mean, it's different than if you want to be the best librarian in the world. I mean, I'm going to guess it might be a bit different. I don't
know. When you say you were busy, one-a-days for a year, shit like that. 5 to 6. Were you going out nightly?
Well, okay, yeah. So we do our missions at night for sure. So we'd have a nightly meeting. Okay. Now, we wouldn't do missions every night. No, I'd say that we averaged one every like 3 days or something.
Okay.
Yeah. No. Like, look at the tempo. The tempo's high with a lot of units. Like, I've talked to a lot of guys and they're like, yeah, we don't stop. We're like, on the chopper, off the chopper, like 3 a night kind of thing. No, I mean, I'd say we probably did one every 3 days or so. Yeah.
Which is still a shitload.
It's a lot. Like, when you're talking about going out.
Some people never go. Some people never go. Not even one.
Right. Yeah.
And when you say maybe you didn't have the psychological profile for it because you're a dirt twirling hippie farm boy who was
right
to pull over on the side. If you saw someone who was on the side of the road, whatever you're doing, you stop and you check on them.
Right. And look, and that guy never went away.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's what I recognize in you. I saw that from you from the very beginning. I'm like, wow, this is this is a guy who would be at a drum circle.
And I had drum circles.
Yeah. Which is great. And so you had to integrate these two beings, is what you're saying.
Yeah. And I just recognized that that guy, okay, he's not going to thrive here. Okay. And I needed to, you can't do the job and you can't be fearful. You cannot be conscientious. You can't give people the benefit of the doubt. You're there to do a job, and you're there to protect the people around you. You're there to protect, all the interests, and you are the dealer of great violence. Okay. So yeah, there's a big psychological component to performance across any field, and you may have to alter your psychology slightly. You might have to really perform your best. You might have to be like, okay, for this activity, I'm going to be like this, and I'm okay with that. And that's the big thing. Give yourself permission. You have to be like,
do you have to fake it till you make it?
I guess you do, but really, if you believe it, you're not going to be faking it. Like, if you actually legitimately believe in the requirement, and if you believe that this is what's required, like, if you got to do it, I mean, okay, you're going to get better at it. But I don't really want to call it faking it. I'm going to just say that your first time, you're going to be better on your 5th time. Right. You will continue to perfect your psychology. It'll continue to improve.
Hey, I feel like in the half dozen times that I've had you on the show that you haven't been as willing to go here to where we are now in the conversation. Has something changed in you?
I'm super retired, man.
Yeah,
I am super retired. Unfortunately, I'm so far away from the fight now. Oh God, like I said earlier, I love those guys. I wish I was still there sometimes, but I'm so far away from it. Yeah.
And it sounds like you've cultivated the skills to what I thought you were going to say is you've always been extremely articulate in all things, especially in transferring arm wrestling knowledge. But now you've processed this previous life of yours to a point where you're maybe more at peace with it, or you're willing to articulate it?
I think so. And there's a certain level of respect that, you know, all the guys on the teams have, where nobody really wants to talk too much because, you know, it's a secret group, it's secret stuff. And it's like that for a reason. It's very important. But, you know, when you've been removed for a long time, you start to understand that you are also an educator. You know, you are not yet, you are still bound by the same code. You know, I would never, ever want to damage anything that anybody on a team or anything ever did. But I understand that by speaking a little bit, I'm doing a form of education, and it's a form of service. You know, like, you know, people have to know a little bit. You know, there has to be a little bit of light shed on it. So,
Devon makes us real Canadians proud.
My honor. Tell you, proud Canadian. Beautiful
Devon,
country we got.
Were you? Did you take a bullet? Were you actually shot?
Yeah. I was shot once directly, and I was shot once like through a helicopter. So I got like shrapnel.
Did you see the guy who shot you directly? Did you see him? No.
I never saw him. There was one mission in particular that was a total shit show, like total disaster, like lots of learning from that one. But yeah, I got shot twice on that one. Once through the chopper, once when I was exiting. Yeah, and we just went right into an ambush zone where like we were completely surrounded. How any of us lived, I have no idea. But yeah, we all did.
Same fight. You got shot twice.
Yeah, shot twice.
Did anyone else in the helicopter get shot?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Tons of guys got shot. Yeah, lots of guys got shot. Lots of guys got wounded. A bunch of our indigenous force got killed.
Wow.
And a really good friend of mine got shot twice directly up through the ass, hit an artery. Some of the most heroic stuff I've ever seen happened on that mission. We had guys going into burning helicopters, under fire, carrying guys up the sides of mountains, people disobeying orders, flying in and rescuing people, blood bank. It was some crazy stuff. But we're also lucky, you know. We're also lucky. You know, mortality is a real thing. And it's a good reminder. Mortality, like knowing that you're going to die. And I think that service is really good at that. You know,
yeah,
like
I bet.
It's really good at reminding you that you're not here for a long time, you know. Yeah. That's my big hack. Whenever somebody's not doing good and we're talking about people who are like, oh, this guy's not doing good. And I'm like, remind him that he's going to die.
Right.
Remind him that he's going to die. I'm like, oh yeah.
I'm not going to use that one on my son. I'm going to go with the superhero route.
Hey, why not? Guy, it's never too late. It's never too early. Never too early. Yeah.
When you get shot and then they fly you back to the base, did you call Jody right away?
Oh my God.
Oh no, he did not.
Oh
no, he did not.
You, Jody. What a no, and you do that because you love her and you want to protect her, right?
Listen, we had some words. I got blatantly lied to.
He said he got a splinter. He said he got a splinter.
No, not even by him. I got anyway. That's a whole thing.
It was interesting. It was a tough call we had to make, right? Because I wasn't going to go home. I wanted to stay on the tour. And I thought, you know, we talked about it, like me and some of my buddies.
Yeah.
We talked about it.
Some of the new dudes you were sleeping with.
Yeah. That's right. You remember. Yeah. Right. So
you went from bunking with Jody to bunking with 10.
Right. And I was like, I don't want to leave these guys. I'd way rather stay with these dudes. Yeah. So it was a really tough decision at the time. We thought that you know, it's not going to affect anything. It's shitty enough, but, you know, her knowing that I've been shot, you know, is not going to be good for her. So, you know, looking back, you know, whatever, it did make it harder to go away after that a little bit, because
it didn't just make it harder to go away. He came back, and then 6 weeks later, they wanted to send him away again. 6 weeks after he got back, and I found out about it the night he came home and said, "Hey, you're going to see something when I take these clothes off right now." So I was
That's
super
how you
pissed.
found out when you saw him naked for the first time when he came back. That's how you found out.
Yeah. And I had gone to this spousal briefing ahead of time where the commanding officer stood at the front of the room making promises about how he was going to show up on our front doorsteps if anything happened to
we love the JTF.
Yeah, we love them.
We love the Canadian military. We love them.
We love them.
We are not
Anyway,
pointing fingers.
I was lied to personally. That's how I took it. I didn't let him go back. The only time I ever went into his work and said, "You're not taking him."
Oh,
so I missed one tour. I missed a tour
because
of it.
There's no way, absolutely.
But so
you're taking
we like.
God, you're a great wife and a great mom. Look at you. Good job. I'm sure Devon was probably pretty pissed, but good job handling your business.
It was an interesting time.
It was a difficult,
you know, like
fight him on it.
It was a tough call to make. Like we didn't know.
That's like a drug intervention. Like you're kind of thankful, but you're like, fuck you. You don't trust me.
It was difficult. I'll tell you, it was a difficult time. It was a difficult situation, you know, so I took that tour off and, you know, just worked on everything at home and did different jobs, but, and I think that was mostly due to that incident that caused that trust fracture, you know, among.
Hey,
what do you do? It's a tough situation.
And those guys who went back that soon after, they did not fare well.
Wow.
They did not all have a really great time.
Look, it's not easy. It's not.
No, it's extremely difficult.
And those guys sacrificed a lot.
Yes, they did.
So Devon,
here's my only one tattoo. That's not true. Until a couple months ago, my only tattoo that I ever got, I got 4 years ago.
How old are you?
49.
Okay. I always associate tattoos and piercings as signs of mental illness, but I do think that there's a certain age where you can get them where it's like you crossed over that path.
At 45. So this is a copy. This is our. That's when I got it. This is our symbol of remembrance and service. So we wear a poppy on Remembrance Day on our left breast. So this is the only tattoo I ever got.
Nice. All right.
Until a month ago, and then I got 2 more.
That's when her mental illness.
The mental illness is kicking in now.
Yeah.
I think you should get the ones on the knuckles, love and hate.
Right?
Face tattoo is even better, really. Like
I gotta go pick up our daughter on the street. Okay, see ya, guys.
Jody, you were the highlight of this podcast. Thank you.
She always is, man. She was the only person, the only audience member ever to get a mic in the WAL days. Only person to have a dedicated camera on her at all times.
So when you you come back from that mission and you have those 2 bullet wounds, you don't go home. They heal you up there and you go back into and fight more.
Yeah. Now listen, mine wasn't.
Shit, dude.
Yeah. Look it. They do the right thing. Okay. I'm not saying
they don't. I'm not saying they don't.
I was totally willing. Okay. And honestly, like flesh wound for me, flesh wound. Okay. Like nothing. Like I was a bit sore for a while. Okay. There was about 2 weeks when I was a bit beat up from it. Okay. And after that, I was fine. Like I was totally fine. Like
did it break any bones?
No bones. It was flesh. It ripped through my leg, and I could still get around. I was fine. And guys get way worse. Like I mean, like way, like I was nothing really. Like
you know right away you get back, and as soon as you go see the doctor, you start campaigning to stay. Like, are you telling the doctor like, hey, let's make this quick, get this out?
Oh yeah, no. Like, for me, like, okay, I had like part of the bullet is actually still inside me a little bit. Like they got out most of it.
Yeah.
But for me, it was never a question. It was not even a question. I never really even entertained the thought that I'd be going home. Like, no, I was not. That was not even a question for me. It was like, yeah.
And did they try to send you home? No.
I think that they asked.
Yeah.
I think they asked. Yeah, I think the doctors asked, "Are you okay? You want to stick around?" And I was like, "Yeah, totally." And that was all it was. I think that all the guys, like nobody thought I was going home. Like it was shallow. I'm telling you. Like so, like look at there's degrees. Okay, look at if you get hit in like something that's gonna debilitate you, or I mean.
Or like break a bone, right? Like if it shot you in the hip or in the arm.
Yeah, then you're gonna be down for it, but you still might not go back. You still might be able to work on camp. Depends. Like, look, I did an entire tour. I did another tour with a completely fucking destroyed arm. I did one tour with like one arm. It was what tour? I think it was 2008. I think, yeah, 2008.
What happened to your arm? What happened to your arm?
Oh my God. So we're flying in. Okay.
On a job or just to get to
No, we're flying in to do a tour. Okay. So it's the beginning. We're going in, and so we're stopped in Dubai, and I don't know why, but we're there for a couple days. I forget why. Doesn't matter. We're in Dubai for a couple days before we go and do a 5 or 6 month tour in Kandahar, and there was this. Sometimes they do like this welfare stuff where they like send like cool people in to like see the soldiers and to boost morale, that kind of thing. And there was a Canadian contingent that was going through. There was a speed skater girl. She was like superstar, super hot. Everybody loved her. And there was this world champion wrestler. Like he was a gold medalist for Canada. I forget his name right now. But
like wrestling, like singlet wrestling, like combat sport
wrestling. Okay. Yeah, he was a gold medalist. Yeah. And so at that time, this was 2008, I think. Now, at that time, I was a really good fighter. So I was the rep for our squadron. So I was in charge of all the we called it ICQB, integrated close quarter battle. So like that's like the hand-to-hand kind of portion. It's like when you touch a person, like it's not gun stuff, right? So I was the rep. So I kind of organized the training for that kind of part of what we did. And Daniel Agali, I think that's his name. Anyways, so I right away, I'm like, dude, wow, can I just pick your brain for a bit? I'd love to do a workout with you, just you and me, just a little workout. And that way I could kind of maybe learn some stuff from you. And begrudgingly, like it took a while. Yeah, this is the guy. Yeah, Daniel Agali. Yeah. So begrudgingly, he was like at first, like he didn't know me. He's like, okay, there's this big military dude who wants to fight me, maybe, I don't know. But anyways, we cooled down the conversation. It was just the two of us. And I'm like, look, dude, I just want to work out with you. That's it. Just show me some wrestling shit that I can show my guys. And that over the course of like the next 5 hours turned into a fucking cage fight in front of everybody in Dubai. Okay. Like somehow like the fucking camp got hold of this, that we were training together, and it like escalated until like the CO and everybody, they're like, yeah, you're going to fight him in the middle of like this fenced in hockey arena. And everybody's like on the chains, like screaming. And it's like, and what happened is like, we started out kind of slow, and like, I'd get him, he'd get me, I'd get him, he'd get me. And we kept on kind of escalating the fight until, I don't know what move it was, some kind of an arm drag. He fucking totally tore my left shoulder out, like completely, pop, like ripped the whole fucking thing.
Did he know too in real time? Both you knew?
I fucking knew it. I'm assuming he knew. I'm assuming he knew too. I like walked off the thing, and I'm like, dude, I just had my shoulder completely fucking torn out, and I couldn't move my arm. I couldn't. I was like this for the whole tour. Couldn't lift my arm.
So you didn't. So you just stayed at camp?
No, man. I fucking went out and fought the whole time like that. I did a tour.
Shit.
I did a tour with a completely blown out shoulder. Completely blown out.
Did you end up having surgery on it eventually?
When I came back, what happened? So basically for 5 months, like I got nothing, right? Like nothing. And
was it painful? Was sleeping a son of a bitch?
Oh, it was completely fucked. My shoulder was completely screwed. And they're like, and I haven't even started the tour. I'm like going into the tour. I'm going like, we're perfect. Our team is worked up. We are like ready to do this. And I got a fucking torn out shoulder. And they're like, yeah, Devon, you want to go back? I'm like, fuck no. I'm like, we'll make it happen. And one of my jobs is I'm the gunner, right? I'm the 50 cal gunner. So I'm having to do all my 50 drills, like with like one arm kind of thing. It was a total mess, but yeah, you don't really want to leave. You don't want to leave the fight. Nobody does. Nobody wants to leave.
And then so you get home, and what do they say about your shoulder?
Yeah, so when I got home, what happened is I immediately went into physio. Okay. And I had the very best physio in the world. This lady, Diana, she's just incredible. She's considered to be like a witch doctor of sorts. Just really, really good. And she opened up my shoulder. She opened it up that it was functional. Didn't need surgery. Yeah, my shoulder definitely doesn't have a lot of the rear stuff going on in it, but it works. It works. I never had surgery.
Hey, Devon, do you have any thoughts on peptides?
Yeah, of course. I think peptides are they're incredible. I think that at a certain age, you should probably think about them. I've used the one that I had the most success with. A lot of people talk about TB
and the BPC 157.
Yeah, a lot of people talk about that, and I'm sure that they're good. But CJC 1295 and that's incredible, especially for older people. I think that's incredible stuff. Yeah.
Hey, let's say you had a bicep tear or a pec
I do have
tear.
a bicep tear.
Okay.
I do.
Let's say you have a bicep tear or a pec tear, or let's say I'm just thinking about the big common injuries, a labrum tear. Would you shoot that right into the location?
Not this stuff. No, that's not the way that
what would you shoot right into the location?
TB or BPC.
You would. For your bicep tear, are you using it now, BPC?
No.
No. And why not?
Man.
Just you're too busy with your wife and your kids and like to like be bothered to do it?
Probably. I just yeah, I mean, I don't know how much damage the needle's doing every time.
Interesting.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to be
even
fucking
that little tiny insulin needle. You're afraid you don't want to hit the tendon with it.
I'm just not a fan of stabbing my muscle with a needle all the time.
Okay.
I'd way rather just go subcutaneous in the area.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think that putting needles in your muscle is necessarily a healthy thing, even if they're small. For sure I'm sure that stuff works. Look, I would
shoot it into your stomach. I had a bicep issue here just from lowering a dumbbell, and I had a pain in my and I had a pain in my I was lowering it really slow and trying to get the eccentric, and then so I started using BPC. But I know a lot of people. I was shooting it right into there, but you're kind of freaking me out because I would actually look for that fucking tendon and try to hit it.
I don't know, buddy.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So you would just shoot it maybe into the stomach then instead.
Well, look, I would at least I'd go close. Okay. I'd hope that like there was some kind of, but I just feel like, look, if my eye hurts, I'm not putting a needle in my eye.
Okay.
Like for me, like putting stuff directly into like my super important muscle or tendon.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I'd probably just go close to it. Now I break those rules with stem cells. You want to put stem cells in me? Yeah, I'll take the needle.
Okay.
Peptides. I mean, I don't know that I don't know where the trade is. I don't know.
And are you a huge fan of stem cells too?
Massive.
Massive.
Yeah. Yeah. But
Do you
there's
go to
even
South America for it? I hear like Colombia and shit in Mexico. Is that where you go to?
I actually mostly go with a company in the States. Yeah, there's a company that I've been working with, Vitacell BioGlobal, and they've just made it very, very easy for me to get stuff in the States. But the interesting thing is the rules with stem cells, right? And that's why people go south, is because they have different laws. So you're actually getting a slightly different product. And yeah, a lot of people could argue that for the money, potentially it is better to go south. But I'll tell you, if I had limitless money, like all the money I could, like money was like zero issue. Yeah, you can see my tear there. Yeah,
Oh,
see
you look
that,
like Wolverine there.
but you see where the tear is.
In the right arm,
Yes.
biceps kind of split in half.
Yeah, that's a tear. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, if I had all the money in the world, I would probably still get my stem cells from USA.
You would, okay.
I think so. Yeah, because there's a process that's going on. Like when you get stem cells, most of the time you're getting it from umbilical cord, right? You're getting it's called Wharton's jelly, right? And Wharton's jelly is incredible, and it's super rich in stem cell. It's got all sorts of stuff in it. But basically, what they're doing is they're taking that product, Wharton's jelly, and they're just making the stem cells propagate. Like they're making them, right. So it's a way denser product. So instead of having like one stem cell, you have like a stem cell that's been split out. So you got like 64 stem cells, right? So that's what's going on south of the border, right? But in the States, you're legally not allowed to do that.
And so they have to, you have to get them one at a time from the umbilical cord?
No, you don't get them one at a time. You just have Wharton's jelly that's not been altered. It is not, there's something called minimum manipulation, okay? Like you are not allowed to kind of take something from one person's body and fuck with it a whole lot and then put it in somebody else's body.
Okay.
You're allowed to take something from one person's body and put it in your body, but you can't really alter it. And that rule doesn't apply south of the border. So south of the border,
they'll replicate it. They'll get a stem cell and put it in a petri dish and start letting it like basically divide.
And that's why you get these really dense and really high stem cell counts when you go south. Okay, but I'll tell you, if I had tons of money, I would just get straight up mesenchymal, like straight up Wharton's jelly. Like it's
so just more of that.
Yeah, it's not altered. It's not fucked with. It's like exactly. It's probably pretty perfect. Really. I mean, it's probably pretty perfect. But it's cheaper if you want a whole bunch of stem cells to get them all split up. Yeah.
What's your plan now? Like like you're at home. Obviously you're loving on your wife, you're loving on your kids. What's next for you, like out in the world? What do you do next?
Yeah. So it's a big shift for me. It's a really big shift.
You're gonna go into you're just gonna fish every day now? What's the shift?
Well, so for my entire life, I've been trying to be the very best, like at arm wrestling, really. Like
any man on the planet, not just like in a weight class, like
anybody,
yeah,
the best, right?
Yeah.
And you know what? I think that
you got there. There were times on the planet where there was no man who could beat you at arm wrestling. Yeah, you got there.
There was times, yeah. There was times when I hit that #1 rank. And that was awesome. That was great. And I would argue that I even got better after. Like, so I'd say that I hit that peak, around 2008 and I held on to it. And I don't think that I would be able to say that I was the best on the planet since then. Yes, I did hold the rank, but there was all sorts of conditions kind of tied to it. Like when I beat Hermes, there was an argument that I was #1, but there's still Levon. There's still Levon. Levon still exists.
Who outweighs you by 100 pounds, right? Over 100 pounds?
that is the open weight category, you know,
Yeah,
like
okay.
this is what we're talking about. Now, I would say that during this time period of me chasing Levon, it's hard to say, but I might have even been better than when I was like younger, when I was 2008. Like there's a good chance that I was even better, but the level has come up, you know? Yeah. Like this time period, like I was really good here, but the scene is just, it's higher level now, man. Like the level, like when Pulling John existed and the level now, I gotta say, man, like it is high. Like Alexei Vovoda would get fucking annihilated by Levon. Annihilated.
Even in his peak, he would get annihilated.
Annihilated.
Interesting.
Annihilated. Levon is a different creature.
Yeah.
Different. Yeah. And a lot of the top guys are. It's not like Levon does stand alone. He does. But even the guys who are like the number 2 to 5, I mean, these guys are freaking ridiculous. Like, I mean, if you took Vitaly Laletin or like Dzernov or Hermes or any of these dudes and transported them back, they're going to be a big problem. Big problem. Yeah. The level's high. So for me, it's an abandonment of that. Okay. And I just realized, you know, like, it's just, it just doesn't make sense anymore. It's just not wise. It's not intelligent. It's not a good use of my time. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue to love arm wrestling, but I'm now going to be, instead of like the best performing arm wrestler, I'm going to be the healthiest. I'm going to be like the healthiest guy that I can possibly be. And I'm going to arm wrestle. But I'm probably not going to do things that are going to.
Could you make 209, Devon?
Yeah, I could. It would suck. But I could do it. But very comfortably 105. Very comfortably.
And what is that? That's like, what's 105?
231.
231.
Yeah. Yeah. I can be 231 tomorrow. I can be 209 in 10 days.
Have you flirted with it? Have you played around? What's the lightest you've been in the last 2 years? Is that 229?
Yeah. Yeah. But that's not a water cut. That's just a fast.
Yeah.
Okay?
That's just starving.
Right.
I mean, you look really lean there.
Super lean. Lean.
Yeah.
Yeah. But so if I can live around this weight, 230, 239, whatever, and they say you can 10% water cut with no issue. Okay. So we'll say that's 23 pounds. So that takes me down to what, 106? So 206?
206. Yeah.
Yeah. So easy. So I can.
Is that the weight class in arm wrestling? I'm just going off of my memory. Is there a 209 class?
Yes, it's a 95 kilo world champions. Yeah, that's where right now the 95 kilo world champion. Surprise! It's another Georgian. Mm-hmm. It's Irakli. That's Levon's training partner.
Oh,
right?
Shit. Oh,
yeah.
Shit. This
dude, Irakli, is curling like 140 kilo at 95 kilo.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah. Listen, you know who Marcio is? Didn't even feel Marcio.
Just goes right through him.
Didn't even feel him. Yeah. Yeah. Irakli Zerkishvili. Yeah, this dude is a stud. His pants are so tight. I think that's how he makes the weight class. Yeah. Yeah. Young Georgian kid, just a killing machine. He's actually got a match. Oh my God, you are gonna love this. He's got a match, not this weekend, but next weekend, East versus West 13 against Prudnik, Evgeny Prudnik. It's an incredible match.
Are you going to that?
I'm there, man. I am
Is
there.
Travis arm wrestling there?
Yes, Travis is back, man. Travis is back. Travis is pulling a guy, Sergey Kalyanchenko. So this is like Travis's first legit test.
Is he pulling left-handed?
This time it's right. He pulled left-handed like 2 weeks ago, pulled Derek Smith, completely obliterated him. Like not even same world. But this is his first test. Sergey Kalyanchenko is probably in the top 15 in the world. Okay. Sergey Kalyanchenko is awesome. Super cool guy. Great arm wrestler. Okay. But he's probably he's legit, like really legit. So Travis can't fake it. This is like, if Travis has been trained and he looks good, I'll tell you, Travis looks good. I think he looks awesome.
He doesn't have the best training ethic.
I know, but he's looking good right now. Right now, he looks good. Yeah.
Yeah, he's no Tyson Bagent.
No. But every once in a while, Travis gets it together.
All right.
Yeah.
Whew. And I can watch that on Core Sports.
Yep.
I love how excited you get when you talk about arm wrestling.
Oh man, I tell you, this is a big one. It's a nice card, man. East versus West 13. Engin Terzi is a fucking savior to arm wrestling. Okay, Engin Terzi, like, he unified the sport, right? Before there was WAL, PAL, the guys pulling on the west side of the world, East, and he made East versus West, and he brought everybody together. Now all of the best guys, all of them, you're in East versus West.
Everyone, does John go there and play?
Yeah, still at 60. John, so there's two big leagues. I know. There's East versus West, and they're king of the table, and they're kind of on the same kind of level. There's slight differences, but this is where the main action is. So in August, dude, you got to go. I can hook you up with tickets, man.
I can't fly anywhere, Devon. Listen, I can't fly.
Oh, what are you talking about? You can't fly.
No, I can't fly anywhere.
What are you talking about? Why can't you fly?
I'm a homebody.
Listen, it's in Orlando, Florida. Orlando.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe I can fly. It's not. I don't got to go to Turkey.
No. It's in Orlando. It's at the beginning of August. I think it's like the 8th or the 10th or something. Do you know what It's at the beginning. It's at the beginning of August. This is the first East versus West that's happening in North America. John is pulling a guy called Leonidas Arcona. And dude, it's fucking crazy. John's 60 fucking years old.
How excited are you?
Man, Leonidas Arcona is this German piece of fine engineering. Okay. Incredible athlete. Like he's like a Larry Wheels type, like broad domains, weightlifting, gym guy, bodybuilder, power lifter, just super strong diesel human being who found arm wrestling like 3 years ago. And he's already like at the top of the sport.
Hey, are you fine going there and not arm wrestling? Like, will you be able to enjoy
man. It? Yeah. I love it.
Okay.
Oh yeah. I'll be there.
Final question. Has Devon hustled drunks in a bar for money for free drinks?
I used to do that all the time when I was a kid, when I was young. Yeah. I used to do that. It was way easier when I was young. When I was like 19, when I was first getting involved with the sport, I figured out real quick that I could beat just about anybody. And yeah, I didn't pay for gas. I didn't pay for drinks. I hustled nonstop. Yeah. But it changed. You know, once you get to a certain size, it's like, yeah, they look at you and you're like, yeah, you're bigger than me anyways. But when you're smaller,
yeah, that's
when it's awesome. Like if you're like a little arm wrestler, you can hustle. You can hustle a lot.
You were 6'5", but looked like a marathon runner, and people thought they were going to beat you.
Back when I was a kid, back when I was like 19. But the thing is, by the time I was like 23, 24, I was too healthy. Yeah.
Hey, dude, I can't believe I'm always in shock that you come on this little.
Dude, I love you, Savon. I love you. Dude. You're the things that you did for arm wrestling, the things you did for the community, the things you've done for me. I am forever your fan. You ask me, and I'm always at your service.
Yeah, you the man. All right. Hey, tell Jody I love her. Tell her she stole the show. Never to do that again to you.
Thank you, Savon.
Congratulations with the time I'm seeing on Instagram that you're spending with your kids. That really touches my heart. I love to see that because I know you every time you're on the show, you bring up your boys and your daughter. So that's really cool. Congrats on that, dude.
Thank you, Savon. And likewise, same to you. I see it, buddy. And let me know. Send me a message if you want to go to that.
Fly out there with my boys and arm wrestling. That'd be crazy.
Yeah. Just let me know and we'll take care of you.
Awesome. All right. Thank you, dude.
Take care, buddy.
Holy shit. He was on fire today. That was the shit.
Yeah,
that's awesome. The best podcast I've done with him. Hey, thanks for coming on. What happened? Where are you? Shouldn't you be at work?
Yeah, we got released a little early today, so decided to say hi.
All right, I really appreciate that. All of a sudden, it started moving good. Are the boys in the car? All right, I was running late. I could have talked to him for another fucking hour, but I got to take Avi to awesome. I got to take Avi to surf camp. Yeah, look at that. What a stud Devon Larratt is. Devon's a fun guest. Yeah, so generous. I've always wanted to hear stories about his time at JTF too. Did you hear that? Did you hear the story about where he got shot?
No, I didn't hear that, but I remember somebody telling me that he was on JTF too, which is pretty fucking wild.
Yeah, he that's the first time he's kind of opened up about it. I've tried to push him on it before. He told a story about getting shot and then not going home. And then his wife came on the camera and she's like, "And they didn't tell me." It was good.
I have to go back and watch that.
Yeah, and his wife's fucking hot. What a stud. That's always
cool.
nice when a man has an attractive woman who's cool.
For sure.
All right. Well, good seeing you, Caleb. At 11 a.m. I'm going to be over at Get With The Programming with Bill and Chase. I don't know. Did Sousa move his show? Let me see. Where Sousa's show is. I think my weekend review yesterday with Dave was my best one ever.
Really? Is that good?
Yeah. Yeah, I thought it was amazing. There was one comment in there that that was kind of weird. What did this guy say? This guy says, "I missed the last 30 minutes of this live, but looking back on the chat is wild. Dave is a pro CrossFit, but these people have no clue. Opinions are not facts." Sevon, you added to the story. You went on a tangent about blackness in the talk, but literally you're making the blackness more. No, I was responding to someone's comment. I didn't go off on a tangent. Well, everything I say is a tangent.
The whole show is a tangent.
Yeah, the whole show is a tangent, but the whole point is that Hiller didn't bring up her blackness and I didn't bring up her blackness, and it was from someone in the comments. And it's a listener of the show who I like, Julie Moore or something.
Damn. Stuck in their head.
And then he says, Annette's experience is her experience. You don't get to dictate it. Yeah.
No
Man.
fucking shit.
Yeah, no shit, dude. That was my whole premise. Hey, and we don't get to dictate anyone else's experience, but they don't get to dictate whether we agree with it or whether we see it as a reality. If I'm sitting here telling you I'm talking to a ghost, you don't have to believe it. Yeah, it was that. That's a weird comment. What's this? I want to see this guy's. Oh, this is a weird guy.
This is a weird guy.
Yeah, you can always tell by the shit they follow, right?
Mm.
You know what I mean? If you follow Star Wars Malaysia and any WWE shit. He follows an ESL. Yeah, dude, this guy's English isn't his first language. You're a fucking retard. Listen, if you don't speak English well, don't comment. Don't comment about the details, the nuances. Douche canoe.
You can't even understand the nuances of the language.
Yeah. All right. I'll see you guys later on today, 11 a.m. and Get With The Programming. Thank you, Mr. Beaver.
Glad to be here.
I'll talk to you guys soon. I'll look at you. You're looking for the...
It's a Sebon Podcast Show. It's a Sebon Podcast Show. Everybody's welcome. Peace and love. It's a Sebon Podcast Show.